So, this has slipped my mind. I completely forgot that today is December 23rd. And although that today is supposed to be Spotlight Friday, and that I was supposed to take a look at Scrooged and Alistar Sim's Christmas Carol, and maybe some other two specials along the way, I also have to take a look at a certain little episode of a certain little sitcom that happens right on this day that has somehow become a certain national holiday. Oh! Sorry. That really hurt my foot. Anywho, Seinfeld Festivus, otherwise known as The Strike. Anywho, The Strike is about, it's an interesting episode, but it's from the show about nothing, or at least what everyone says is the show about nothing. In it, everybody goes to celebrate their grievances and anger to a metal rod. And of course, everybody's talking about it. It's really hard to explain this show about nothing, especially since I've only seen the short first season and bits and pieces of the episodes on TBS. So, this one, you'll have to wait until sometime until I actually take a look at the episode. But pretty much, the idea is there's a metal pole and you anger your grievances over that. And you eat everything that's red, while also yelling out everything that you're mad about. Interesting. It's just interesting that the thing that Festivus is about. But, I think you just gotta take a look at it for yourselves to see how Florida considers this to be a national holiday. Because if I recall Christmas through the Decades, which was a History Channel special, they actually considered this to be a national holiday. But take a look at it for yourself. If you pretty much see it rerunning on TBS or your local affiliate, or pretty much if you've got the DVDs or know any sources, watch it. And see where the origins of Festivus began. Now let's get started with something else. I kept to my word, and we're going to review Scrooged. Pretty much, this is a modernized take, or pretty much a twist on the original Dickens story. Pretty much, it's replacing Ebenezer Scrooge with Frank Cross, and of course, the accounting building with a TV network. So, you're getting pretty much a modernized version of the story. Which in many sense can be viewed many of ways. But when I saw it for the first time in high school, I actually liked it. The interesting part is how I actually got to know this film. And surprisingly enough, there was actually somebody in high school that, was quoting the film for whatever reason, or was creepily singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town or whatever. and just said it was from this film called Scrooged. So I went, looked it up, recorded it on AMC because it was playing on there that year, and of course, I watched it that year, and I loved it. It was pretty much a funny film with Bill Murray, pretty much, and a modernized take of A Christmas Carol. With the comedy, the slapstick, I mean, pretty much, if you're not into, like, some of the original versions, I mean, pretty much what's wrong with you, but also, if you want some comedy, this is pretty much the place to see it. I mean, Scrooged, there were lots of moments that actually were pretty funny in the process, but also actually did had me, like, cracking up during the comedic moments that happened during the film, you know. But also, to another extent of the, this here definitely is an interesting little flick, but also has an interesting little choice in its soundtrack. Because, especially since the fact that Annie Lennox of Eurythmics actually does one of the songs. Now, for those that don't know Annie Lennox, she does the song Walking on Broken Glass, but she also is in a, or at least was in a band in the 80s called Eurythmics, who did the song Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, Here Comes the Rain Again, and, of course, Missionary Man. And they also kind of did the song in this that's used in the background and in the end credits called Put a Little Love in Your Heart. Of course, her other partner's not in this because she basically does the song with, at least what my Shazam app is, she does it with, at least according to the Shazam, I can't speak today, at least according to my music identification app, Al Green. So pretty much this is kind of Al Green and Annie Lennox, though I don't know whether or not Annie Lennox actually did, like, split Eurythmics up by the time that this pretty much ended, by the time that this film was released or whatever. Pretty much modernized version of A Christmas Carol is pretty much inevitable, or at least was to happen. I mean, whatever Paramount was thinking at that time, at least they made the right choice in allowing this to happen. It's become like pretty much a staple around Christmas time. I mean, other than Die Hard, it's pretty much a film that everyone watches every year. Even I do too. Because Bill Murray's always pretty funny in a lot of films. But, I guess from there, we'll see what goes on throughout the next special or two. I haven't really thought of what to do next, because I am getting, yeah, I am starting to slow down a bit on the marathon. It isn't the Spotlight Fridays that hasn't been slowing me down, but again, it's because of the fact that Christmas is almost nearing, and because I'm excited for Christmas, and I got an early Christmas present right here, but I gotta keep patient because it's almost here. So, maybe I could think of something. I mean, maybe I could watch, I'll save these two for Christmas Eve. Maybe I can watch a little something. Something that relates to the true meaning of Christmas. Watched this one a lot as a kid, like, pretty young. And anyone who's at least grown up with this one will know for a fact that this will be the one that will at least get me a bit relaxed and wait for Christmas. Probably didn't expect this one, did you? Well, at least if you watched the 2014, or you were a follower for a long time that followed my Blogspot website, you probably knew from the first marathon, and probably second if I recall it, that I pretty much commented on this here, like, little classic, that pretty much this was one that I'd always watch on Christmas. And besides that, if you were young and pretty much went to church, pretty much this was the show you always got to either watch in there, or pretty much you had the tapes at home. I was one of those saps that had the tapes at home, because why didn't I? But it's not to say that I hated it. I liked it fairly either way. And besides that, VeggieTales is pretty much a good show that teaches what it delivers. Moral values and strong show, and pretty much comedic, at least in a comedic way. Delivering something here and something there. I mean, pretty much the one I can recall off the top of my head is Mo and the Big Egg Set, with Larry pretty much disguising himself as what looks like the Lone Ranger and whatnot, and it all takes place in the Wild West. It's an interesting design and a concept of choices, but I ate that up when I was young. But then again, I was 10 at that age. Thought I would have aged out of it, but I still kept to it. But anywho, Toy That Saved Christmas. One of the few VeggieTales holiday episodes, other than, I think it's the story of St. Nicholas and the Star of Christmas, if I recall the other one. Well, I know the other one because it's here in my pile. But, anywho, The Toy That Saved Christmas is pretty much the one special that I pretty much grew up with at a young age. And of course, with that came a story with it. Of course, with it, in the story, a mailman tells the story to her young daughter about how the town almost never had a Christmas, or didn't really know the true meaning of it, and was mostly told by a greedy toy executive who really didn't know the true meaning of it. And of course, what he does is that he wants to basically get them to go out and buy this new product called Buzzsaw Louie. However, one toy managed to get life or whatever, and from then on, he wanted to find out the true meaning of Christmas. He comes across Bob, Larry, and Junior as they're, like, skiing down the mountain on a bobsled, and they find Buzzsaw Louie as he's stuck in the pile of snow. As of course they dig him out and, find a way to, get him to know the true meaning of Christmas. Which of course the narrator, who somehow managed to actually be a part of the story, tells him the true meaning of Christmas, and they tell the whole town, as well as the other cities, through a live broadcast. even going as far as to even mention the story of the birth of Jesus and whatnot. And in that case, they wind up finding themselves in some trouble with Mr. Nezer, the person behind all of this, but his heart changes when suddenly the town goes up to him and gives him a Christmas gift. But, unfortunately, he winds up accidentally pressing a button, and of course, everybody, of course, the four of them wind up going down the hill, as, of course, his team of penguins, and Mr. Nezer wind up chasing after him, and their lives are saved, and they all celebrate Christmas in the long end. It's definitely a bit more tamer compared to the, well, I wouldn't say tame is a decent word. At least this one doesn't use a heavy usage of the, the situations of mentioning, the Lord and whatnot, and only use it in the very important parts. VeggieTales, at least at a young age, I could get through those perfectly fine. They were good passing for when I was young. I don't know if I can do it now because, well, I don't know if I can even say it now, but I really haven't been to a church for a long time. But really overall, it is... Well, I still enjoy the specials I still enjoy this no matter what. And pretty much all the original episodes of VeggieTales. They're fun, they're educational, and even if they did, they could even make a person be religious. Christianity, or believe in the Lord. This is why I don't talk about religion in my videos, because I don't want to offend people. So, I guess Buzzsaw Louie probably will end today's video, but I guarantee you tomorrow we will be doing a lot of things that take place on Christmas Eve. And hopefully I might be able to do them in the span of this here one day. But I also will be talking about other videos as well during that day. Even if it does not take place around Christmas Day, or more or less takes place around Christmas Eve, I'll still talk about them. I think it'll be a massive day tomorrow, but it'll be a challenge getting through all of those. But of course it'll be interesting trying to get all of those videos in 26, soon to be 27 by tomorrow, off of my hard drive so it doesn't take up the 1 terabyte of hard space that I've got on there. But if you want to see what happens in tomorrow's marathon, stay here and remember to click that notification bell to make sure that you watch the video. So, until then, see you guys tomorrow for, hopefully, the biggest near-to-epic conclusion of the 28 days of Christmas Marathon. Later.